Hello, welcome to Premier Scene. I'm Claire Bueno, where we attended the European premiere of I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie. What was it about Tonya that resonated with you most of all?
She was an underdog to me, and I find that very easy. I love gangster films, and I love seeing someone rise to the top despite their circumstances, and Tonya's story felt like that to me.
If there was ever a film that was a film that combines documentary as well as narrative, I think this is the example of it, isn't it?
I love that, for a film that we actually approach in a documentary style in the sense that it's an audience participation. You watch a documentary and you have to figure out what the truth is. You see these interviews and you see people talking, and as humans we have to look for those tells of like, are they lying, are they telling the truth? So they had to bring it as performers, to that nuance of like, how much of this is truth right now, but as an audience you get to decide, and I love that it's an active experience.
I mean, the characters as well could be easily perceived as unsympathetic. So I imagine for you as the director and the power of the actors to get the balance of an audience investing in these people and seeing them, the deeper layers, was very important.
It wouldn't work otherwise, and it was something, even obviously, with Tonya's character, it was really important to us that we show the emotional and physical abuse that she went through. That was more paramount than any kind of humor or entertainment in a way. It's like to understand why she is who she is, and the defensiveness that she has when you see her in interviews, and that chip that she has on her shoulder when you see her sometimes. This explains it in a way, and I think hopefully gives you empathy. With Lavana's character, it was a little more tricky because she's pretty tough on the page. But Allison, we would talk about it and be like, she took her to practice every morning at 5:30. She was doing 2 jobs. She felt she was doing the right thing. So, we sort of try to approach everybody with from their point of view.
The wonderful structure of this documentary is quite unique, isn't it, really? How did you decide that was how you were going to structure it?
I interviewed Tonya Harding, and I interviewed Jeff Gillooly. And nobody asked me to. I just did it myself. No one was paying me. And once I did, I found that their stories were so wildly contradictory that I thought, well, that's what I'll do. I'll put everybody's story up there and let the audience decide what's what. It just seemed like it was a really funny story. It was a really crazy story. It was a really tragic story. And it was true depending on whose point of view you believed, And in terms of the structure of it, I just wanted to be very rebellious and wrong-headed, because all of the characters were very wrong-headed and rebellious. So I wanted to include all those things that people say you can't do in a screenplay, like break the fourth wall. And at one point, Allison Janney's character criticizes the screenplay and complains that her storyline is disappearing, And it doesn't make sense, and it is unconventional, but it works because it mirrors all of the main characters.
I mean, obviously, you're telling a story that happened in real life, so I imagine the responsibility of capturing the nuances of these people and not demonising them was incredibly important.
No, I never wanted to say anyone was the hero or anybody was the villain. I wanted to say these people were human, and their stories were told without any nuance at all. And so I just wanted to give them that because I felt like they were all reduced to a punchline, and they're just human, like everybody else.
Talking of punchlines, there is a lot of dark, dry humour in this, isn't it?
Yeah, but I felt like the story was really funny. I was very concerned about what they would think when it was over. Tonya, she saw it with her husband, and she said that she laughed and she cried and she liked some of it and she did not like some of it, mainly the stuff that came from Jeff's point of view. And when Jeff saw it, I was very concerned because he says he never hit her. And in the movie, he says he doesn't hit her, but he also hits her because that's what she says happened. And he said he saw it, and he was like, I loved it. He said, I liked it way better than Hope Floats, which is another movie I wrote. I was like, me too.
And then you've got somebody as iconic as Margot Robbie, who is in front of screen and behind the screen producing it. What was that like?
It was amazing to watch her because she's very low maintenance, no fuss, and she, so she would really just show up super prepared. She would modulate her voice depending on what age she was. She would modulate how sort of physically defensive she would be depending on what age she was. But we were a very independent, small-budgeted movie. We did not have a lot of money, so we did not shoot in order. And there were scenes where she was doing 4 different ages, and she would modulate everything. But she did it with such apparent ease. It could not be easy. and with no fuss that I didn't realize until I saw the whole movie. Like, holy cow, look what she's doing. And was a producer on the movie. She would do a scene with the Tonya Harding accent. They would say cut. She would talk about the music cues and this and that with her Australian accent. They would say, we need you on set. She would go right back. No fuss. She's pretty amazing.
Real trooper.
Very, yeah. And her husband who produced it, same. Workers, both of them.
And learning about figure skating, I imagine that was a completely new journey for you as well.
It was new, and I really don't know anything. I watched the footage and tried to describe it. I could not tell you a triple sow cow from a triple axel.
Triple X.
No.
Just finally, what can audiences take away with them?
I think that they're going to get a really funny story, a really tragic story, a really true story that's just framed in a whole lot of crazy and told in hopefully a very unique way that's well acted and well directed.